Morning.
Good day, Glenn. How are you doing? It's morning. Absolutely your side of the world.
The sun is just coming up.
Amazing. How are you even up at this point in time?
That's okay. I got to bed at about 2:30, I think.
Wow. Wow. Well, it's a pleasure having you, having all of you to be very exact. Okay, let me just try to resolve these connectivity issues with the rest of the world. We keep joining in. Good day, all of you. Good evening, all of you. Once again, it's 2 minutes till hack. So we just wait for another couple of minutes, then we start off because it's good to have all of you once again to be on time. That's very important because time is of consequence to all of us. Just hold on. We're getting more people in.
Hi, Fahad. It's Captain Mutari.
Good to have you, sir. Pleasure having you here. It's always nice to have an experienced hand between us.
I wish I can add to you guys. I know you have a lot of experience. I appreciate your experience. I'm here to learn from you guys.
No, I believe all of us who are getting together today are once again generating a lot of value and accumulated, I guess, about 50 or 1,000 hours would probably be here on this webinar today. So I certainly believe this will be extremely influential and a plus point for all of us, including myself. So it's a mutual learning thing. We keep moving ahead, keep improving. So just one more minute before we start off with our presentation and people will keep walking in. I believe everyone can hear me loud and clear, not a problem with regard to that aspect. Okay, you have an option of showing reactions on the base, right? Thumbs up, exactly like Glenn Jones has pushed across. Essen, once again, I welcome you. Said Ali, thank you for the thumbs up yet again. Hamza as well, and a few others who continuously join us in this session. A few rules of the game as we flow through. I would certainly like to request all of us to keep our mics muted, and keep the cameras switched off so that we don't have a feedback for everyone else listening and watching. So that will make it a lot easier for all of us. But rest assured, this is how the cookie crumbles. A few rules of the game have to be dished out before we start so that we're right on time. Anyways, we are hitting on the hour as we speak, and I would certainly like to start off with the presentation as a whole. Let me just switch off a few things so that we're able to get our systems correct. Okay, let's start off from here. Okay. As we have people walking in, probably people will keep walking in as we continue with our talk, and we'll take it from there. Okie dokie. Okay, welcome all ladies and gentlemen once again to this session that we are having on predictive aviation risk management. Big data is once again key in all. Günaydin, and once again I welcome to all the people who are here. Before we start off, a reasonable in-depth analysis of my own background. I've been there, done that in the military as well as the commercial side of things. I have about 2,000 hours under my belt, CPL holder, frozen ATPL with an FI rating on Cessna 172, 152, members of Royal Aeronautical Society, as well as ISASI, which is across the globe as we speak. You have my contact details right here. It will be flashed again at the end of the presentation so that we are left with information flow which is correct. This will once again be a run through to a session that we have conducted already for the Eastern Hemisphere. This is once again for the West. Very specifically, we also are introducing predictive aviation risk management as well as big data as we flow through. We'll be doing for about 20 minutes a session before we have a QA in the end. Safety culture, as it grows in organizations, has the information aspect to be one of the strong points, whereas trust and accountability also flows through. If you look at points in time, pathological culture, which is the worst to be very exact, where people are only looking at not getting caught of their follies which are flowing. We are also look at reactive cultures where safety is important, but once again, we're always waiting for an incident to take place before we do our job as risk managers. Calculative, once again, is where systems are in place, looking for hazards, as well as managing them. Proactive is something which we have heard of in the contemporary times as well, where safety leadership and values are critical importance and continuous improvement. Learning organizations are there. Beyond this, we have predictive risk management, which is the crux of today's talk. SMS is once again as a whole is doing everything that is governing operations. SMS maturity. SMS is once again not the same old short messaging system on the mobile. It stands for safety management systems, which govern operations in all HROs. HROs meaning thereby high reliability organizations. Talking of any timeline, past, present, or future, reactive, as flashed on the view foil right here, does not mean did not have a safety management system. We were more post haste. We were waiting for an accident to take place and then take it up from there. Present time frames, we talk of a lot of proactive things that are there, a lot of activity which is specific to hazard identification and its analysis once again in organizational processes. But the critical factor as we speak is of this one fact, that is predictive, which is future. It is once again with regard to trend analysis. It is once again with regard to, how do I put it, future problems in case of trends. One of the longest haul or long haul flights that takes place across the globe, starting from Singapore to USA or maybe Australia to USA, the predictive maintenance is so strong that the HQ with the continuous pinging of the gear turbofan engine in case of a Boeing is generating 1 gigabyte of information every hour. So if there's an issue that is developing or is tending to develop in the engines, the supply chain guy with the tech guy as well is already at the destination to take care of a minimum turnover time. And once again, maintenance, as we know, has turned out to be very easy with passage of time yet again. Once again, coming back to the hazard risk analysis that has been there for a while now. If you look at the red line here, this is risk, which is being reduced, exposure, which is on the y-axis, and hazard, which continues to be there. Once again, existing controls as well. During the reactive mode, we're looking at inspections, FOD drills, accident responses once again, because we're waiting for an accident to take place and then take it from there. Beyond this, present time frames, yet again, risks being reduced using existing controls. Safety efficiency has increased unquestionably, where accident data collection is being compiled, trend analysis being generated, We are having, once again, root cause analysis. We're looking at issues. Just hold on. I'm having a few pings for people who are walking in at a point in time. Anyways, looking at, once again, FOD detection and safety assessments and gap analysis, which is also crucial. Beyond this, we're looking at present times and, once again, the future where predictive risk management is taking place. If we look at this one fact, the risks have reduced. Once again, if you can see, there's always safety efficiency increasing, but as the graph continues to decrease, it can never, once again, be brought down to the nominal, which is zero. We can always mitigate risks. We can never bring them down to zero because, once again, aviation is a risky business. We'll be talking of this in a while as well. Expanded controls have come in where risk-based decisions are taking place. Remember, gentlemen, risk management was first called for in finance, where capital was being invested, and that is where it built up. And decision making is, once again, is a very active process. Mitigation, as we know the word, is reduction, not zeroing. Cultural shift, once again, prevention is something that we're looking at. We have data analysis, flight data management cells in airlines, where we're looking at issues at point in time. Okay, beyond this, continuous performance improvements is also working in predictive analytics. And once again, best management practices are coming across here as well. Once again, it is not what you see, it's how you see it that matters. It's a matter of perspective. Big data, data analytics, data science, business intelligence, all buzzwords of the same phenomenon. So how do we interpret that data that is available to us is crucial for all. An inspirational effort that's come across from ICAO's Global Aviation Safety Plan. If you look at a few buzzwords that I've picked up, once again, technical capabilities, investments in technical systems, knowledgeable and skilled professionals. These are all buzzwords that come across and generate inspiration for us for a better, improved, and a more safe future for aviation overall. Various forms of safety data, yet again, buzzword here, effective mitigation strategies based on data, rest assured, is crucial. Analysis of multiple data sources, predictive risk management, once again, is there in the ICAO Global Aviation Safety Plan as well. Quick question for all of you guys who are there attending this session. Can you give me a calculation of this multiplication that is, or the equation that you see? What number do you get out of this? You have a chat box option which is there. You can calculate relatively quickly. I believe everyone has a what do I say? A calculator in their mobiles, and you can really come across and calculate it relatively quickly. So if I have any answers, then kindly put it down on the chat box on the right, or on the bottom, or on the top, wherever you have this chat box going across. I'll give you a few minutes on this, well, to be exact, a few seconds, and you can calculate the amount of information that is there, or the equation or the answer that you think is most feasible. Anyone with answers? I don't think I have anything in the chat box as yet. Just waiting on it. Seems like either there are some communication issues on the chat box. I can't really find any answers. I give you a few more seconds, and then we'll flow through the presentation itself. No answers anyways. Let's flow through the presentation so that we have everyone on the same frequency. So the number very specifically as flashed on the view foil is a big one. It's a lot of terabytes. It's exactly 2.49 billion terabytes, which is being generated out of 20 terabytes per engine. 2 engines, for example, on the Boeing 737, 6-hour cross-country flight with number of commercial flights in the sky in the United States any given day, 365 days a year, calculates to this much amount of data. Once again, data and information, there are 2 different variations. Data is once again unprocessed, whereas processed data is information. So information is once again generated to make decision-making easier. Bringing ourselves back to the 7 V's of big data, and this is once again the gospel truth as we call it, where 7 V's result into velocity, volume, variety, variability, veracity, visualization, and value in the end. Velocity is once again, as per the legacy systems that were there, they were relatively slow for real-time information or cloud computing as we call it nowadays. So velocity is no more a problem. We have megabytes of information flowing, not even in snapshots of information, but streams of information even from engines across the globe. Volume, once again, the bandwidth has increased. We have been able to generate a lot of information real time across the globe. Variety of information or data is available. We have a lot of, sorry, I've missed out a lot of chats. Interestingly, how did I do that? But rest assured, thank you for the answers. We have, let's take this back a little bit. Rizwan, he's come up with an answer of 2.499 exactly. What is there? Ali, yes, you're right. Yet again, it's 2.49. Kaleem, once again, yes, 2.49. Osama, well done. Afridi, welcome. Yes, 2.49 yet again. Glenn Jones, exactly the same answer. One way or another, I was missing out on this chat box for some reason. Thank you, Ali, once again for the remembrance. Rest assured, Milton, once again, I welcome you as well. So 2.49, everyone's correct. Good calculation on that part. So we keep looking at this and we keep looking at information that flows to us. I'll just have a look, see how am I missing out this information so that we're all on the same. Manage participants, no, not that. Chat, where does the chat go? Interesting. Okay, good enough. Well, let's take it back. Okay. Once again, we were at variety. Data is of varying varieties. We need to sort that information or that data in a way that we're able to ensure that correct amount of or correct focus is generated. Variability with the variety of data which is available to us, there will always be outliers that are there who are outside the graph once again. So we need to have a look at that aspect as well. Veracity is the truthfulness of information. Once again, any information that comes across has to be clear, concise, and correct to ensure that correct algorithms are used and information is generated. Visualization relates to bar graphs, to pie charts, to information that is predicted and depicted on graphs and presentations for correct decision making. How do we generate value out of this information is yet again another question that comes across. But rest assured, these 7 V's are available for any type of big data which is there. A quick explanation of how do we define big data. For big data does not have a specific number. It relates to the system that is available. For example, if you have a homegrown system or a mobile, maybe 1 terabyte of information or data is overwhelming for it. But if you have mainframe computers or you have cloud computing or blockchain, then terabytes upon terabytes of information or data is considered big data. 1 terabyte would be easily grasped and calculated for the information as a whole. Let's move ahead to the next Next one. Okay. Once again, the Global Aviation Safety Plan relates to, once again, multiple data sources need to be there, and they are always there. We have various forms of safety data. We have technical capabilities, and once again, knowledgeable pilots. These four sum up to ensure that we have predictive aviation risk management. Once again, predictive is, rest assured, what we are looking at for future times. How do we improve upon it? And once again, strategies, how do we strategize against these risk management procedures or issues at hand? They also relate to a lot of relevant information. What are the three parts of or the contents of big data or predictive aviation risk management? Once again, data being core here. We also have relations to techniques, and rest assured, then we calculate them and make out how do we monitor this. Once again, the modeling, visualization, processing, and analysis. Processing can also be related in another word as collating. Prediction in case of applications and information, once again, resulting into correct decision making by the policy makers. So that is where AVRM is the strongest. Let's take it down to another question that I want you to answer in the chat box yet again. You have 5 options here, and my question, which is right there at the top of the view foil, in your opinion, which is the most important function of big data? Out of these 5 which are there, if you can just pick up any one after reading through the 5 options and take it and put it down on the chat box. Once again, let me get that chat box for myself so that we have clarity yet again. Okay, let's see where did the chat box go. Glitches of the system, as we call it. I've lost my chat box yet again. Let's see if all that does it. Amazing. Okay, yeah, we have the chat box. Sorry, pardon me, I had missed out. Anyways, let's look at the answers from people. Starting off from Kaleem, option 4, yes, data and risk modeling, risk picture, that gives a lot of clarity. Uzair, option 1, data-driven performance monitoring, true. That's also a valid point. Glenn, number 4, Captain, once again, thank you. Number 4 for you, Hamza as well. Uzair, data-driven performance monitoring, number 1, true. Hamza, and number 4 again for you. Rizwan, number 1. Once again, as I've mentioned before, there are no incorrect answers. So every one of you who's given an answer is correct. Ali, Saeed, Milton, once again, number 1, data-driven safety performance monitoring for Saeed. Well, all of them true. Captain, I certainly tend to agree with you on that. Essen, yes, I tend to agree. Essen specifically mentioned actually all of them. Reason is you can't reach number 4 without 1. I tend to agree with all of you, to be very exact. This is the way forward. We need to have an understanding that it's a mix of all 5, to be very exact. Data mining, is rest assured, is also a crucial factor in the big picture of things. For the next one, show of hands for the people who are here. Aircraft sensor data, maintenance data, and operational data has grown to a point exceeding most aviation companies' ability and effort to efficiently and effectively improve business processes and outcomes. Do you agree? MROs, they are overwhelmed by information which is available. And once again, this is crucial for all of us. Uzair, agreed. Afridi, thank you. Ali, yes, you also agree. Show of hand is also a possibility. You can always do that. Rizwan, yes, a lot of information, a lot of data, not information, is there available to all of us. Kaleem has raised his hand. Thank you, Kaleem, for the interest shown. If I give you a number on this, very specifically, 73.4% of the executives from airlines and MROs believe that volume, velocity, and variety and veracity of the data available has exceeded. This is once again a Capgemini survey done in 2017. So this is 3 years back. So you can well imagine, with the improvement in technology as per Moore's law, this number may have jumped a few digits, if not a few tens. A few analytic options that we carry from closed source agencies like Boeing and EFAST by Pratt & Whitney and Skywise by Airbus. But rest assured, we have a lot of open source options as well. For example, Apache Spark, Google BigQuery, Presto, Apache Storm. Hadoop has been talked of a lot in the near past with regard to data analytics and data analysis. A quick summary before we take off to the QA session. A lot of data is available. We all know that FDCVR, FDM, flight data, weather occurrences. A lot of techniques, modeling techniques as we call it, have come across. A lot of machine learning, text processing, and a lot of visualization, which is once again very, very crucial. Application and information. Both aspects, once again, performance monitoring, prediction of indicators. This is once again key. We're looking at graphs once again and pie charts to facilitate decision making at the operational as well as the policy strategic tier. Learning from occurrence reports, rest assured, that is also crucial. Once again, all four of these on the left of the equation sum up to enable us to generate predictive aviation risk management and effective mitigation strategies. I would love to explain this one graph. It's a rather busy slide as we call it, but I believe this is where we are heading. This is the resultant of all big data, business intelligence, data science, data analytics, artificial intelligence as we call it, to generate a deeply analytical computing system that learns and interacts naturally with people. Once again, ergonomics plays a role here as well. The 7 V's, as we continue to increase our 7 V's or improve upon them in quality and quantity both, rest assured, this is where we will end up. We're not there as we speak because, as we all understand, computing power is good, but not good enough to generate creativity. There has to be a programmer, there has to be a person behind it to enable that we are having valuable insight or predictive analytics taking place. I quickly sum up with all that I've pushed across. Rest assured, ladies and gentlemen, we are passing through challenging times, if not difficult ones. Aviation may never be the same again. Rest assured, we may be having or forcing ourselves to do a lot more with a lot less resource-wise. May it be finance, may it be human resource or human capital, may it be time as well. But rest assured, data analytics, or as we call artificial intelligence, or we call business intelligence, or whatever buzzword you want to use for it, predictive aviation risk management is here to stay. There is no questions asked. This is crucial for us, for all of us to understand. I would also like to touch upon one aspect or a question or a query before we start off the official QA session that I looked up or have had an answer to on LinkedIn or my LinkedIn page, and that related very specifically to cosmic radiation levels. This is something that is one of the first inquiries that was done in this aspect was in 70s, where people thought that supersonic travel, how would it relate to cosmic radiation effects on people, on pilots, aviators, and the cabin crew that is there. There are two answers to this. Once again, a lot of data is available right now. A lot of information is available to people across the globe, but very importantly, the radiation levels once again relate to one aspect, which is the solar particle events, which is solar flares. And we have a lot of flights which are taking place on the northern latitudes near the north or the south pole, where these effects are most influential. I certainly believe data can enable us to generate information which will help in reduction of this hazard that has been identified. It's not been not being done a lot of places except for NASA and some at Eurocontrol. But rest assured, it is very, very crucial. We have a last 10 minutes to go before we culminate, and then we'll have to switch off because of paucity of time and the promise that I've made. So rest assured, information here. You have a lot of information that is available to all of us, and rest assured, we will continue to harp upon this. Before we start off, we have a few questions coming across from Essen. Okay, Essen Khan from Qatar, Civil Aviation has queried which hazard, again, okay, missed it. Radiations, yes. This is something which is least talked of, especially once again, we're talking of flights which are taking place in near the equator. It's not as harmful, but for flights taking place higher latitudes, higher altitude, long haul flights near the north or the south pole, this is a huge hazard. Reproductive systems have faltered, and a lot of issues have taken place on both the flight crew as well as the cabin crew with regard to this this hazard. Captain, if I have a comment, if you don't mind. Certainly, Captain, if you want to push across a point, you can either type it or I can unmute you as well, so that you can push across your point of view. I see, Kaleem, that you have a show of hands. I'll certainly come back to you, but before that, I'm trying to look where the Captain is so that I can unmute. Oh yeah, I see you here. Okay, unmuted, Captain. Your point of view, please.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this. Really, it's very nice. The only thing I like to add is safety. It's a marathon that we cannot be achieved in one session or two sessions. We have to keep running after it, and it cannot be done in one or two sessions. So it's a goal that we started from a technical, now we're in human, tomorrow we're in management. That's all what I want to add to it, and thank you very much for giving me the chance.
No, it's a pleasure, sir. Pleasure having you on board as well. But rest assured, I believe it's a systemic issue, what we need to cater for and improve upon as well. Kaleem, if you have a point or a question that is there, let's get back to the chat box and let's answer from there. Kaleem has specifically asked, which predictive technology the crew and managers also need to meet the requirements of such system? Will it be convenient for all organizations? If you're talking of predictive aviation risk management or data analytics, Hadoop once again is a very good real-time data analytics software. It is once again free of cost. Well, not free of cost, but it's open source, so you can play around with it. It is going to grow cheaper as we flow through and available for any organization, may it be commercial or military or general flying, so that we have the correct answers to this. Rizwan, I can answer this one. Okay, Rizwan, I'll read out the question first, and then you can answer this. In your opinion, what is the basic indicator for an organization to identify the state/level of its risk management maturity? Essen, if you can unmute yourself, or I'll unmute you myself. You are unmuted now. Essen, you have the podium.
Okay, thank you. Hello, Rizwan, and hello, Captain Fahad. How are you? Thanks for inviting. So far, enjoying that. Rizwan, yeah, you have asked a question which a lot of people get stumped over that. What's exactly that? And one thing which really encourages everything is the safety culture. That's the basic indicator of how mature your organization's culture is. So, and how that will come, your reporting rate. Your reporting rate. If your reporting rate is constantly growing, so just imagine that you are reaching towards a maturity. And then it will come towards a point where the number of reports you receive and the amount of occurrences, you got to just have, you just got to decide in between the two, that is it the more number of occurrences that are happening in your state, or is it just the safety culture is improving and you are receiving more and more reports? So it's always a two-way thing, and they don't agree to each other at all. The thing is, for the organizations that are new, that are countries that don't have mature safety culture, always look for the number of reports. So if your reports are increasing, and that is reflecting your safety culture, people are not afraid to report. And if your voluntary reports especially are increasing, then you must know that your safety culture is improving, not the mandatory access reports, because they are mandatorily to be reported. It's about the voluntary reports. Are they increasing? People are confident to report. So that's one thing. And just I get the opportunity to unmute, I'll take 30 seconds from Captain Fahad. You talked about this radiation, the cosmic radiation, the Corsia group of IQ, that is to do with the carbon offsetting and reduction scheme. Is it not doing enough to address that risk? Because you said it's not widely talked about. Because in going for now, I just saw today that IATA is saying that to the airlines and all, that they do not consider the data from 2020 aviation carbon data of aircraft, because they know that it's not a good parameter or indicator to merge what they have been doing. What they want is that airlines just don't pull back from their own initiatives of setting the carbon monoprint off. That in 2020, because the skies are blue again, so now again we can go back to that aggressive
Agreed.
strategy and
Agreed.
improving. So if you can give a comment on that as well.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I will certainly. Thank you, Essen. Last 3 minutes, so I'll just quickly go through the answer that, or the question that Essen had asked. Yes, the organizations are doing decently enough, especially carbon emissions. But this is with regard to radiations and radiations towards the northern side. If you talk of carbon emissions, yes, 2020 will be an outlier because reduced flying across the globe, sorties are taken care of only for cargo flights and things like those. So I certainly believe things are growing better. Last couple of minutes before we part ways, if anybody else has a question on it, so that we're there. Rizwan, thanks, Essen. Once again, thank you, Rizwan, for that compliment. Glenn puts across a point. From an auditor's point of view, this specifically the relevance of risk register, is it an active document? Yes, it needs to be an active document. You have to put down all risks so that you have a game plan or a strategy against a specific risk that has been done, mitigation that was carried out, that needs to be put in as well. Because once again, in an organization, things continue to flow, people continue to change, our risk registers relatively stay constant. Last a minute and 30 seconds, Ali, mentioning Glenn, from my experience, the risk or hazard register is typically an active document that is managed continuously and used to refine the organization's annual safety goals. Yes, KPIs, an airline should audit itself against its KPIs to ensure it is meeting its safety performance goals. I certainly believe it is very, very valid. Last 1 minute, and before we part ways, I certainly would like to thank all of you once again to have come across at this point in time. This effort was pushed in or put across to facilitate the Western Hemisphere. We have already done this for the Eastern one. The next thing or the next topic will be once again disseminated on the LinkedIn page, both on Phoenix Aviation Safety page on LinkedIn. Like that page and you'll have a lot of updates. Glenn Jones, CEO yet again, he has been there, done that for a very, very long time, a lot of experience on aspects of safety and risk management. But I would like to reiterate one aspect or parting words. We will have to do a lot more with a lot less in times to come. So be assured that we have to do the best of what we can in the future times beyond 2020. Rest assured,